Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I am going to record my July currently inked progress report or review. I'm not sure how I'll title this. And this is something that I was doing last year maybe, or the beginning of this year. Can't remember. And then I've fallen out of it. And I watched Elise's video yesterday, and I've watched a few other people's videos on their progress reports. I wish I could remember their names. I'll link the channels below. And I'm going to be using this super simple way of reviewing um, the pen and inks. I was making it more difficult um, and kind of lengthy. So I'm going to be trying this one out. It's ink, pen, and combo rating. And then if I didn't really care for an ink and pen combo, I'll write a little blurb underneath indicating the why. So let's go ahead and get started. My kitties are acting cray cray because there is another kitty outside. Okay, so the first ink pen and ink combo was the J Urban Cacao do Brazil in this Esterbrook SD Coffee Monsters Co. collaboration. Um, and this has a fine nib, and I am still using it. I use this particular pen in my daily planner. So when I completely fill the ink cartridge, it lasts a while. So this will be a staple. This will be one you will see for a few months until I write it dry. This pen and ink combination for me, the pen is a 10, the ink is a 10. It's one of my favorite brown inks. So I'm going to give this a 10 right off the bat. I love the color. I love how wet this ink feels in this pen. It writes so well on multiple types of paper, not just Tomoe River paper. This is MD. This is a traveler's notebook. I've also written with this pen on moleskin paper. So yeah, that's why right off the bat, I'm giving this, again, ink 10, pen 10, combo 10. So that was my first and super easy pen. Okay, the next pen is another Esterbrook SD pen. This is in the tortoise shell. I would say this is probably my favorite Esterbrook SD. I have a medium nib on this, but I originally purchased this pen from Yuseka Stationery with a Ticho, Ticho nib, which I need to remember to change up and give that another try. I love this pen. The I have it inked with Beaver Dam Brown by Ferris Wheel Press, and this ink is so super juicy and wet. I have no complaints. Honestly, guys, this is another 10 out of 10. So it's a 10 combo. So 10 for the ink, 10 for the pen, 10 for the combo. It's no hard starts, writes like amazing on all paper. So I'm looking at multiple things here. And if I haven't tried it on other paper, then, it's hard for me to grade a pen that way. So I may make notes of that as well. But yeah, I love this pen and ink combination. And I really can see why that this ink is so beautiful. It's very, very beautiful. Like chocolatey brown. That's how I see it. Okay, the next pen and ink combo is the Sailor Pro, oh my goodness, Pro Gear Slim. And I have to keep, here we go. And it has a 21K nib, it's medium fine, and it's in the Drizzle uh, series. And I ink this up with 3 Oysters Caramel Macchiato. And I'm really trying to not purchase a bottle of this ink because I have enjoyed it so much. It's this pen, actually, I may have written it dry. I forgot because I had it. Yeah, there's a tiny bit left. Let's see if it's going to write. This is an ink sample that I received from Jill, so thank you so much, Jill, for this. I'll try to link anyone I talk about on this video in the description box below. Ink is a 10. Yeah, I wrote it dry. Uh-oh. Okay, I'm going to use another pen. Ink is a 10. I'm going to say the pen is a 9. So ink is a 10, pen is a 9, combo 9.5. And the reason for that is I have had issues with this pen since I received it. I don't know why. I've tried multiple inks in it and it's scratchy. Okay, so, and I've seen other people complain too about some of the pens from this line feeling scratchy, not feedback, because there is the feedback, but scratchy. Um, so I'm gonna actually probably ink it up again with the same ink because it did write really well. It's super wet ink. Or maybe I'll even try it with the Ferris Wheel Press Beaver Dam Brown or another wet ink that I have and see what happens. But overall, I enjoyed this experience. I mean, I wrote the pen dry, so um, yeah. So the next pen and ink combination is the TWSBI Iris 580 with a fine nib and Teranishi Innocent Mauve. I love this combination. This fine nib for me, it writes so smooth. Speaking of TWSBIs, I have been debating on whether or not I'll be keeping some of the TWSBIs in my collection. I'm going to finish out this year and decide. And it is because, fortunately, I'm developing arthritis in my hands. I actually have a cyst that's developing here. It's a benign cyst. Um, and so the nib grip section here, I shouldn't say nib, but the grip section here is much thinner than the barrel of the body. And for whatever reason, it's how I hold the pen. It's very uncomfortable. And I find it more so in the Eco TWSBIs, not necessarily the 580. I'm not sure if this is maybe not the same circumference as far as the grip goes. I'm not sure what it is. But this particular pen has been very comfortable to write with. I've actually written with this a lot. I probably filled it up to here. And it feels, yeah, it feels comfortable to write with. And I would say, it's not the pen's fault. It's unfortunately, what I'm going through with the arthritis. And the pen and the ink combo itself, I have to give the ink a 10 because not only do I love the color, but it's very wet and smooth in this pen. The pen itself is a 10. I cannot mark off for my own physical ailments. And then the combo for me is a 10. So I'm going to leave it at that. I know I went off a little bit there. And then the next pen and ink combination is Sailor Shikiori Okuyama. And I have it inked in this Pro Gear Slim um, Narakira, and it's in a medium nib. And I have a lot of 10 out of 10 pens here, or close to 10. I love this pen and ink combination. This came as a set. I purchased it last year, probably last May or June from Endless Pens. And yeah, I just absolutely love it. Um, Unfortunately, in the medium nib, I cannot see the sheen, but I love the color. I love the smoothness. I can see some of the shading when I'm writing with it, and you may even be able to see it here in this line, or even in my writing here, how some of the lines are dark, some of them are lighter. I love that so much. So that is a 10 out of 10. And honestly, guys, I have not, this is the only ink I have used in this pen, and it will probably stay that way. This is probably my favorite burgundy-ish ink so far. Um, so yeah. All right, the next pen and ink combination was the Platinum Century 3776 and this classic white. This has a fine nib with Pilot Arushizuko Yamabudo. Honestly, this is probably the only pen and ink combo that hasn't been great. I've barely reached for this. This pen and this ink combination on moleskin paper is not great at all. In the Tomoe River Sanzen paper, I think I even tested it on my MD paper. It's perfect. Overall, I'd have to say, though, that it's still kind of dry in this pen, which I do not understand because I've used another Pilot. I think I used Pilot Sepia in this pen, but I did use it in a Hobonichi last year. So, that paper was awesome. Overall, I really don't want to do this, but the ink in this pen, I'd have to say, is a 5. The pen itself, I love this pen. It has nothing to do with the pen. I'm just going by the combo together. I'm going to just have to say it's a 5. It's not, I need to make it clear that it's not a combination that I would ink up again. Very dry. So yeah, I'm going to save this ink because this was a sample from, oh my gosh, her name. It was last year, but I received a sample from a Instagram friend. We haven't really kept in touch. And I want to use up the rest of this ink because otherwise I love it. Every other pen I've put the Yamabudo in has written like amazing. So I'm going to be saving that. I'm going to unink it and use it in something else. Okay, the next pen and ink combination is the TWSBI Eco Espresso Bronze with a medium nib. And I inked it up with Teranishi Opera Rose, one of my favorite inks. And again, I have been using this, but I've been using it on more of the MD paper or the Tomoe River paper. This pen does not write well on moleskin paper at all. It feels dry and scratchy. Even the nib, I thought, oh my gosh, when I started writing with it on the moleskin paper. I'm like, what's wrong with the nib? Tried it on MD paper. It wrote so nicely. So I'm gonna have to give the ink and pen probably a 9. Otherwise, it writes well. Like on this MD paper, it's the MD Light Traveler's Notebook insert paper. It writes so well. Um, Dry and scratchy. I gotta put on moleskin. Otherwise, it writes well. So, oops. Um, yeah, oh, I love that sound of the Twisby and the cap. I just love that sound. All right, thank you for bearing with me, guys. Okay, we have 3 more pens. So the next one is this Benu Euphoria Milk Confetti, which is a Goulet Pens exclusive. I love this pen so much. Um, I know the bright colors are not necessarily my aesthetic, but it reminded me of memories from childhood as a family, so that it is now part of my collection. This has a medium nib, and I inked it with Noodler's Periwinkle. I have loved and enjoyed using this pen since I purchased it. I think I purchased it in March or April, February, maybe one of the months, sometime in 2025. And yeah, I've just loved writing with this pen. I would say the ink is, I'd say a 9. The pen I'm going to put as a 10. So I'm going to, the combo 9.5. Um, I'm noticing that I'm preferring the Agicai, Pilot Agicai in here. I don't know. I like both of them. I guess this month I'm giving the ink a 9 in this pen. I mean, clearly it writes well, but thinking on the moleskin is a little bit drier. So otherwise, no complaints. Very good month with the pen and ink combinations. The next pen is my Pelikan Rose M205, and I purchased this in a medium nib. As you can see, I've used, this is almost written dry. Um, my intent was to use this pen a lot this month um, because I've had the pen for a while. It came with the Pelikan Rose Quartz ink. It came in a combination, and I purchased this, I think, from Pen Boutique. There was a major sale. I got this pen and ink set for a total bargain. And I was like, why not? My first Pelikan. This pen is super light. It writes um, on Tomoe River paper, and I think I tried it on the MD paper. It writes so smooth. But when I go to the moleskin paper, and I think I even tried it on Leuchtturm, it is so dry and uncomfortable to write with. Now, to be fair, I think I've only inked this up with the rose quartz. So I do not know how other inks would fare in this pen. Overall, kind of like the Benu, I'm going to give, I want to give the ink actually a 10 because for a pink ink that is lighter in this pen with the medium nib size, you can see the shading really, really well. I can read it, no problem at all. But I'm gonna give the pen a 9 and the combo a 9.5, only because for me, utilizing different paper is important. I love different paper. I would say at this point, my favorite paper is MD paper, only because of some of the quality control issues that we've had with the Tomoe River paper. Um, I love Leuchtturm as well, but not as much as the smoother papers, only two because of my recent ailment with the arthritis. So smooth paper, wetter pens, lighter pens are key for me personally at this time. So those are some of the factors when I'm thinking about how I'm reviewing the pen and ink combinations. So yeah, I mean overall, two, I think, and I believe, who was it? It may have been Gin, Peachy Ginger or Ginger Peachy Pens, that mentioned in her unboxing of a Pelikan pen that you have to really use the pen and break it in, the nib in. So that could be, I may need to factor that in as well. I don't know. Let me know, Pelikan people. Okay, and this pen I inked up after the fact. I inked this up with a mix of Diamine Alpine, which is a shimmer ink, and I had a little bit of Diamine Mistletoe sample and a little bit of a Robert Oster Avocado sample. And I mixed them all together because for samples and TWSBIs, you need some ink to ink these pens up. And none of these had enough for me to be able to ink up. Between the three, I now have a full sample file. I had this probably halfway inked up. I've written a lot with this pen. An ink combination, it writes so smooth. This has a medium nib, by the way. So this is a TWSBI Diamond 580 Smoke Rose Gold. Going back to the TWSBI, if the flow is um, juicy, then I find that it just glides across the page. I don't find that many issues really. So I think I need to take that into consideration just talking this out here on the video with the TWSBIs. And perhaps it's maybe the 580s are going to be the better choice for me because I do love TWSBIs. They've been one of my favorite pens. I'm going to say this combo is a 10. Let's just cut to the chase. This number one, I love the shade of ink. I love foresty greens. I love olive greens. But I'd have to say forest greens are my favorite in the green ink. And this is in between, it's lighter than a forest ink. So yeah, I loved this combination. Let me see if I can show you. 1 second. I think it's on the next page. Yes. So as you can see, avocado is a lighter green, mistletoe in between the alpine and the avocado, and all three, this is what it turned out to look like. So yeah, I just love it. And I actually did that again. Oh, you may have seen it here with like 4 different brown inks, and I combined it into one vial because there was hardly any left in the sample vial. So that's what I'm going to be doing from now on instead of just letting them sit there. But yeah, so that is my review, guys. This go around, I do not have samples of the different inks, so that's why I was a little bit more detailed with you guys. But let me pull these closer so you can see. And I apologize for the lighting. It's overcast today. Um, I'm just going to go through slowly here. That Taranishi Innocent Mauve is gorgeous. I love this. I love the periwinkle and the blurples, so to speak. So there you have it. Thank you so much for being here with me today, and wishing you much love and many blessings.